I welcome you back to NextGen 2050. Today we're inside Africa's wall, built to stop an entire desert. Just look at these machines.
"8,000 kilometers long, this living wall is humanity's largest attempt to physically stop a desert. From orbit, it looks like a border. Up close, it's an entire industrial ecosystem fighting for survival. Behind every meter of green is a machine built to punch through solid desert crust.
These machines don't just dig div. They carve entire root trenches into ground that hasn't held water in decades.
Before anything can grow, engineers must first defeat the ground itself, meter by punishing meter. 6 specialized rigs work in formation, each tuned to a different soil density along the Sahel.
Feel that vibration? That's 4 tons of steel breaking ground that's been baked solid for 100 years.
Inside the cabin, a single operator commands hydraulic force strong enough to move a small hillside.
Every trench is plotted using real-time satellite data, targeting the exact zones drought has hit hardest.
Behind the machines comes the second wave, cone. Thousands of saplings destined for ground that was sand yesterday.
Each sapling is planted within hours of the trench being cut, before the desert wind can reclaim it.
One row like this takes a full crew all day turning. And this wall needs millions more just like it.
Each planting zone is engineered around a central water hub, feeding every trench through buried piping. Beneath every visible tree lies an invisible network of pipes, keeping the entire corridor alive.
This valve alone monitors soil moisture for half a kilometer 10. The wall is basically wired to feel thirst.
Off-grid solar arrays pump groundwater to trenches that stretch far beyond any power line's reach.
This entire operation moves like a traveling city, relocating its base camp every few kilometers of progress.
Supply convoys run constantly, resupplying saplings faster than the trenching crews can plant them.
By sunset, a single crew has pushed the wall forward by nearly a full kilometer.
Zone 3, status check.
Stand by, updating telemetry now.
Confirmation, crews are green to proceed.
Roger that, moving now. Good job, team, we're stable.
This map updates daily to pan. Every pin represents a kilometer engineers fought to win back from the sand. Before planting begins, drones scan the ground to find where roots have the best chance to survive.
From this altitude, the wall looks less like a forest and more like an active construction frontier.
Manual labor still drives the final mile dial. Machines can't reach every root the way human hands can.
This work happens in temperatures that regularly cross 45 degrees, hour after unforgiving hour.
Nobody talks about this part enough, Barry. This wall is being built one exhausted, determined shift at a time.
Before any tree touches the ground, it spends weeks hardening off inside mobile field nurseries like this one. Only saplings with strong root development are cleared for planting cures. Weak stock simply won't survive the transition.
This tiny sapling has to survive sandstorms, drought, and grazing animals, the harrow. The odds are brutal out here.
Fencing protects new growth from wandering herds, one of the wall's most persistent natural threats. Rather than banning livestock outright, engineers built corridors that let herders and the wall coexist. Groundwater testing determines exactly how much irrigation each stretch of wall can sustainably receive. In the driest stretches, water still arrives the old way, and then by truck, kilometer after kilometer.
This single truck can water an entire section, but there are hundreds of sections left to cover.
Behind every planted tree is a digital model plotting soil type, wind direction, and water table depth.
Engineers simulate decades of growth before a single seed goes into the ground. They manipulate complex systems to turn
This line on the map isn't decoration, Hyde. It's the exact battle line between forest and encroaching desert.
Yes, that is the point of attack. We understand.
And this continues here.
Engineers even test how sapling rows perform against simulated sandstorms before committing to a design. Every drone flight feeds directly into the model, refining predictions with real ground truth data. Soil composition determines which native species can realistically survive in each specific stretch of desert. Even a few % more organic matter can mean the difference between a tree surviving or dying. Botanists specifically select drought-hardy native species, rejecting anything that wouldn't survive without heavy irrigation.
A dedicated seed bank preserves the genetic diversity needed to keep replanting this corridor for generations. Every seed in here was chosen for one reason. It has to survive where almost nothing else can. On sloped ground, engineers calculate root spacing carefully to prevent the very erosion they're trying to stop.
Side-by-side tests prove it instantly. Planted slopes hold 10 times more soil during heavy rainfall.
Looks like we're exceeding expectations.
The data behind every planted kilometer justifies the enormous cost engineers know this project demands.
Not every planned section survives review, hey. Some routes get redesigned entirely before construction even begins.
Every calculation eventually leaves the screen and becomes real soil, real trenches, real trees.
Before construction begins, entire yards of raw material must first arrive across brutal desert supply routes. Every meter of irrigation piping first has to survive a bone-jarring journey across unpaved terrain. Unloading alone requires cranes rated to handle tons of steel in punishing desert heat.
Stop! Back a little! Down! Steady, steady! Hold it there!
Every irrigation line is welded on site, since prefabricated sections rarely survive the journey intact.
One bad weld out here means an entire section loses water for days, ways. Precision matters this much.
Custom-stamped brackets anchor every pump station against the region's frequent, violent sandstorms.
Even a tree wall needs concrete now. Foundation blocks anchor every pump station and monitoring tower along the route.
Thousands of foundation blocks are cast weeks in advance, staged for delivery along the entire corridor.
Every batch is compression tested before approval, since a failed foundation could collapse an entire pump tower.
Pump housings are custom fabricated to withstand both sandstorm abrasion and extreme daytime heat. Each housing panel is bent to an exact tolerance, ensuring dust seals hold for years without maintenance.
Every remote pump station runs on solar power, assembled specifically to survive years of unrelenting desert sun.
These charge controllers are the difference between a pump station that runs for a decade or fails in months.
Battery banks store enough solar power to keep irrigation running through the desert's coldest, darkest nights. Everything you're seeing here eventually gets driven hundreds of kilometers into the desert canyon. Nothing here stays local.
Every threaded joint is manually inspected, since a single leak could waste thousands of liters underground. Trenching blades dull fast against compacted desert crust, requiring constant sharpening between deployment cycles.
Every hydraulic hose is pressure tested well beyond field conditions before it's cleared for excavator use.
Coordinating thousands of components across 11 countries is its own engineering challenge entirely. Every crate is tracked digitally, since a single missing shipment can stall an entire crew for days. Crossing 11 national borders means navigating customs, permits, and inspections at nearly every checkpoint. Once cleared, convoys race against time, since every delayed truck means a delayed section of wall. Now the materials finally meet the ground to count. Construction of a new pump station begins from bare earth. Every bolt is torqued to a precise specification, designed to survive years of thermal expansion and contraction.
Out here, a loose bolt today becomes a broken pump station in 6 months. Down. Nothing gets rushed.
The pump housing arrives fully assembled, engineered to slot directly onto its prepared foundation frame.
All right, looking good. Power draw is steady.
Panel angle is calibrated precisely for maximum sun exposure across the region's seasonal light patterns. This final joint connects months of fabrication directly to the trenches waiting kilometers down the line. Buried piping is protected from surface heat and sandstorm abrasion by careful, deliberate backfilling. Compaction prevents future settling that could crack pipe joints buried just below the surface.
Multiple crews work simultaneously across the corridor, racing to connect isolated sections into one continuous system.
Precise coordination ensures separate trenching crews meet exactly where engineers planned months in advance.
Roger, confirmed. Adjusting approach.
Confirmation received. Proceeding with alignment.
When two independent crews finally connect their trenches, it marks another kilometer permanently won. The final excavation.
This single meeting point took 2 crews 3 weeks to reach around, and it's just one join in thousands.
Monitoring towers rise every few kilometers, each one watching over its section of the growing wall. Each tower streams live weather, soil, and growth data back to regional command centers around the clock.
Technicians manually verify every sensor before a tower goes live.
Looks good. Roger that.
Remote failures are costly to fix. Data and power lines share the same buried conduit, protecting both from surface heat and wildlife damage. Saplings that outgrow their mobile nursery are transplanted into permanent ground, completing their first major transition. This final compaction step determines whether the sapling's roots hold through the first major sandstorm. From above, engineered precision becomes visible, every row spaced exactly for future canopy growth.
Maintenance crews patrol every completed row, adjusting water pressure as saplings grow and demand shifts.
Small adjustments here prevent both drought stress and wasteful overwatering across thousands of young trees.
6 months ago, this entire stretch was open sand, the Dre. Now it's holding its own against the desert.
As soon as one section stabilizes, the same crews and machines move forward to repeat the process. Beneath the largest pump stations, access tunnels allow technicians to service piping without disturbing surface growth. Underground, temperatures drop dramatically, protecting critical piping from the extreme heat above ground. Regular inspections here prevent small leaks from becoming catastrophic failures across the entire irrigation network.
Most people will never see this part to do, an entire hidden network keeping the wall alive from below.
Every tower's data eventually converges here, feeding a system that predicts problems before they happen.
An AI system flags struggling sections automatically, directing maintenance crews before saplings show visible stress.
Even the data systems need their own climate control to survive operating in this environment.
Backup power ensures monitoring never goes dark, even during the region's frequent grid instability. Satellite uplinks connect even the most remote towers, since cellular coverage simply doesn't reach this far.
One unified dashboard now tracks a project spanning an entire continent's width, sector by sector.
Before going live, every station is stress tested at pressures far beyond normal operating conditions.
It's climbing, approaching 200 psi.
Lower the pressure now.
If this station passes today, it runs untouched for years Pirane. That's how much rides on this single test.
Only after passing every checklist item is a station cleared for permanent, unattended operation.
After years of hard work, we bring this station to life for our community. May it bring prosperity and life to our lands.
Watching water reach ground that's been dry for a generation is the moment engineers say it's worth it.
With activation complete, this section now sustains itself, needing only routine maintenance to keep thriving. Multiply this single section by thousands, and the true scale of the project starts to become clear.
In the oldest completed sections, mature trees are now physically blocking dunes that once moved freely.
Communities near completed sections report farmland becoming viable again for the first time in decades. Local economies are shifting as farmland recovery brings new produce, new trade, and new opportunity. What started as scattered planting projects has become the largest living structure ever attempted on Earth. The next generation is already being trained to continue a project that won't fully mature for decades.
Millions of kilometers remain unfinished, but for the first time, the desert is losing ground.
If you think this wall is massive now, its full impact is still decades away, Stu. Thanks for exploring it with NextGen 2050.